John, you spoke the other night about a disappointing result but a good performance. I think, is it something similar tonight?
Yeah, we didn't play as well as what we did on Friday. No, they're a good side at the top of the league for a reason, aren't they? You know, we give as good as we got in the first half. Bitterly disappointed to concede from a long throw. You know, for all the ability that Shamrock Rovers have got, they didn't really trouble us in open play in the first half, and then, you know, we lose a goal to a long throw. The chances we made were half chances. We weren't clinical enough. But then second half we got a little bit ragged, and they enjoyed a lot of possession for 20 minutes inside our half without really troubling us. They had one where I think they got a breakaway and a chip straight into the keeper's arms and a drag shot. And it's difficult, you know, the players are giving it all. And games that hinge on moments. A big disappointment for me was the amount of bookings we got. You know, and I'm sometimes scratching my head and I'm wondering what a booking is and what isn't a booking. I see their lads do what I thought was a dive, you know, I might turn out to be wrong, but he goes to ground very, very cheaply. They put the ball in the box, Stevie makes a great save, the only save he made in the first half. They get a throw in from that corner and they score from that. And then Links later on gets fouled 3 times, gets brought down on the edge of the box. He says to Podge, the referee says to Podge that he got clipped but he went down too easy. No, he's been fouled 3 times and he gets a yellow for that. So instead of us having a goal scoring opportunity on the edge of the box like they did, and when you're at the top of the league, everything goes for you. And that's just the way it is. I've been at the top of the league before, so I know that everything, you get every bounce of the ball, you get every decision. And that's no slight on the referees, because, you know, it's a difficult job at the best of times, so they do their very, very best. But you just feel that when they get momentum, the team who attacks more generally gets the most decisions for them, and that's just the way nature of the beast. But, you know, over exuberant tackles, we were getting punished for them, they weren't. That's frustrating to take, and you feel as though everything's going against you. So I think, you know, the second goal, we're disappointed because we've let a couple of people run off. We've lost a couple of runners have run off us, and then we haven't been disciplined enough to try and just shepherd them away from the goal, and we've let them have a free shot, and, you know, it's a good finish. But the lads never give in. You know, they pinned them back the last 10 minutes, and we scored. We'd like to have had longer than 4 minutes, to be honest. But, you know, I'm not going to go down the David Moyes route, although I can see where David was coming from. But, you know, at that time we were craving another 5 minutes. I think if we'd have got the goal 5 minutes earlier, I think we might have got the equaliser, because we sank them in, we pinned them back, we put balls into the box. Probably too little, too late. The harsh reality is we didn't make enough chances tonight at home, and that's the harsh reality of it.
You have to be proud of the battling performance, because they never stopped running, in fairness, every one of them.
Well, we've been speaking to the players about that, and we've got a duty to the fans to do that. You know, and I think the fans will appreciate that, the effort that the players have put in tonight. You know, at the top of the league, it's always going to be a tough game. We believe we can beat anybody, and that'll, you know, we're playing the champions from last year next week, so, you know, we're playing the champions-elect tonight. But if you don't believe you can win them games, you shouldn't be involved in football, in my opinion anyway. And we've got a set of lads who want to work hard. We kept our discipline tonight. Unfortunately, you know, we picked up quite a few silly bookings, in my opinion, that weren't justified. But, you know, I might be wrong, you know, I'm not a referee. But when you're picking up bookings and then you're playing with a booking, the emphasis of the game changes. And so, you know, you've just got to be mindful of the fact that sometimes you can't do anything about it. It's an occupational hazard, you know, and it's like a taxi driver getting caught in a traffic jam. Every now and again, he can plan his route, but he's going to get caught in a traffic jam, and that's part of your job. And unfortunately, at times you're going to get booked. It just puts you on the back foot a little bit with your tackling and the way you commit yourself. But we've got to keep going. You know, there's 5 games to go. And we've got to commit everything that we've got, every ounce of energy we've got and strength we've got to getting something out of that. You know, we need 2 or 3 wins between now and the end of the season. We've got 3 home games. And we've got to try and capitalise on that as well as the away games.